call the Johnson County Board of Education meeting together for August 28, 2017. First call to order is the Pledge of Allegiance by the Johnson County High School student Thomas Mullet.
Yes, let me speak just a second. I'd like to start every meeting from here on out, every regular meeting with the pledge to honor our country. Thomas Mullet is going to be leading us tonight. He's the son of our beloved Regina Mullet, who was an employee of Johnson Central High School until her passing 2 years ago. She's the secretary of the Youth Service Center. Her integrity and compassion was known for everyone who knew her. She was well respected and taught her son the same values that she possessed. Thomas, would you go with us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is to approve the amended agenda. Is there a motion to do so?
So made.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, mission statement.
I'd also like to begin every meeting with our mission, vision, and core values to remind us of why we're all here. Johnson County Schools' mission statement is to provide the ultimate educational experience for every child every day. The vision is to be an innovative school district focused on learning without boundaries, and our core values are integrity, leadership, commitment, and service.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Next, district recognitions.
Tonight, we are going to recognize the 2017 Governor Scholar recipients. Just to give a little background of Governor Scholar program, it's a summer residential program for outstanding high school students in Kentucky who are rising seniors. The program originated in 1983 as a result of Kentucky leaders' concerns that the state's best and brightest were leaving the Commonwealth to pursue educational and career opportunities elsewhere without fully understanding the potential of their talents at home. The program's mission is to enhance Kentucky's next generation of civic and economic leaders. The program stresses us and challenges scholars to examine and, more importantly, to nurture their sense of learning and leadership. I think we had 8, Mr. Crum. I'm going to turn it over to you. Had 7, or I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Crum.
Okay, got one that's on his way up here right now from football practice, so I'll go ahead and I'll talk, and hopefully he'll show up by the time we get to that point. But just to let y'all know a little bit about the process. I mean, the Governor Scholar is probably one of the most difficult overall processes that there are in terms of trying to get an achievement, because it'd be similar to applying to like a prestigious college university, because you have to have like an academic profile, so they're going to look at all of your ACT, your GPA, all your academic courses you've had, dual credit, those types of things. But also, they look at your extracurricular activities, they will look at your volunteer service, job positions you've held, you have to have teacher recommendation, you have to have community recommendations, and you also have an original writing entry. So, I mean, this is probably one of the most difficult and prestigious honors a student can get, and it pretty well gives you a full scholarship or close to it at most state universities if you get to participate in it. So, these students are really to be commended for what they have gone through to get this achievement. And I want to read off the names. Like I said, hopefully the other one will get here by the time we've got 2. Please not yet either. The students that received them this year, if you want to stand up when I call your name, and then got Mary Small, we have Emily Atkins, we have Blake Gamble, Leah Blair, Becca Preston, Daniel Short, and Assad Manon. And I mispronounce it every time. And so I don't know, could you guys at least tell which, because they also get placed at different universities throughout the state. So if you can, maybe just tell the different universities that you all were placed at.
Go ahead.
Northern Kentucky University. Northern Kentucky University.
And Blake was on his way up here, but he was actually at football practice, so I don't know if, which he's probably so weak from the other night, he may have to hobble up here after that game the other night. He would, yeah, man, it's pouring the rain out there on top of it. So, and Leah was at academic practice, so maybe they just got held up. But I talked to her, and she said she was going to be here. So, but like I said, both of them are involved in academic things. But it's a pretty big honor. I mean, it's something that's definitely worthy of recognition. And I know that we've had several students before that have done that and gone on to be very successful, so I think it's awesome.
If we could have all of them come up here in front and just get a picture.
Let's get a picture of you. Maybe he'll show up by the time we get there. I won't go about. Come up here. It's all right. You got practice, you got practice?
Go, guys. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. We'll get a, we'll do like a close-up so we, you know, it'll just look like you're playing.
Thank you.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Do one close-up. 1, 2, 3. You get one?
Yeah, I got it.
You get one? Hold on. Show them, hold.
Good, here.
You get it?
Good job.
You all are welcome to stay, or you are released if you'd like to leave. Hey, come on in.
Oh, glad you did.
This far, let's do one picture here.
Just like you did.
Blake was also the player of the game that, for the Hutch Bowl the other night, and so now Rick and his get a little tired right there. Here he goes. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Do one more. 1, 2, 3.
Let me grab one. All right.
I'm so sorry. You're so good.
Thank you all again for coming.
Next item of business is to approve the minutes from July 24th, regular meeting, July 31st, special meeting, and bills and payroll through August 24th, 2017. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? If there'll be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, renovation report. Mr. Adams.
You have in front of you Sherman Carter Barnhart payment for construction administration services. I recommend that you do pay that. They held that a little bit out as we are still waiting for the punch list to be complete.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Old business, Mr. Adams.
This is the second reading to policies. There have been no changes since the first reading. Again, I do recommend that you accept all changes as written.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the final reading?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, new business, Mr. Nance.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. And I think you have copies of this, but I don't feel like I'd be doing my job if I didn't pass out a bunch of paper. So I'm going to give you another copy. And what we are here to do this evening is to authorize the bond issue to complete your energy savings project. And as you're aware, you all have previously approved the contract with CMTA. You've also approved the BG1 that establishes the cost. So the final thing to do tonight is to actually authorize the bond sale to so that we can fund the project. And the first handout that I've given you are the 2 resolutions that we're going to be considering tonight. The top resolution is what we're now considering as the board. Then after we adopt this as the board, then the second resolution is what we'll adopt as the Finance Corporation. But before we do that, I want to look at the second handout to just kind of briefly go through this with you. Is, you know, even though it's important to point out that when we sell this $5.5 million bond issue, you know, all along it's been presented, it's going to be paid from savings, which it is. But it's good to understand that you actually are going to have a bond payment. So what's going to happen is we're gonna have to make bond payments for the next 20 years to pay for this $5.5 million project. But CMTA provides a guarantee that you're gonna offset your utility bills by at least the same amount. So if you look at that second handout, to just kind of briefly go through this, if you go to the far left where it says FY fiscal year, this shows that we're gonna be making payments for the next 20 years. The second column shows the actual bond payment that you'll be making each year for the next 20 years. And then the next column that says M&V, that's where CMTA comes in. They're gonna be your partner for the next 20 years. They come in, evaluate everything, and that's what you pay them to provide the guarantee each year. So under total cost, this is what our total payment will be each year for the next 20 years. Now here's where the guarantee comes in. The next column over that says energy savings, CMTA, when they come in after they do the project, they are going to look at all of your utility bills compared to what you were previously paying, and this is what they're gonna guarantee, that your utility bills will be less each year. So when you look at your energy savings compared to our cost, the next to last column shows us that we're actually gonna be saving a little bit more each year than what our bond payment is. But again, I just like you to kind of see this in black and white, but it's exactly as it's been presented to CMTA. We're gonna borrow $5.5 million, but they're gonna be here evaluating everything for the next 20 years to make sure we save enough to pay those bond payments. And the good news is, if for some reason we don't save enough, they write you a check, and that's what the program is. So I wanted you to see that.
Have you worked for this bunch before, Joe?
Yeah, we have. We've worked with CMTA. They're probably one, there's probably 3 different groups out there, and what I'm seeing is probably CMTA's probably doing more work statewide than any of the rest of them right now. So that's kind of, what we're gonna be looking at for the next 20 years. Now, before we start taking action, look at my last handout. This really has nothing to do with what we're doing tonight, but I just wanted to give the board an update. Go to the last page of this handout. And again, I know as a board, you all have been looking at, hey, when we do these HVAC energy type improvements, we want this thing to pay for itself, and we really don't want to touch our bonding potential. So in addition to this $5.5 million energy improvement project we're doing tonight, I just wanted to report we're starting to build back up a little bit. If you look at the very last page, we have, as of today, $5 million of bonding potential with our restricted dollars. So, I think the last time I reported to the board, we were at $3 million. We've got another year behind us, and we're starting to build up. So keep in the back of your mind going forward with our traditional construction projects, we're building up, but we've got about $5 million in reserve. So I just wanted to report that to you. Any questions? So what we actually have before us is this top resolution, and Mr. Chairman, it's probably appropriate, I'll read that into the record, and we get a motion in a second. It's a resolution of the Board of Education of the Johnson County, Kentucky School District approving a guaranteed energy savings contract with CMTA Inc. and approving the plan of financing the cost of said project, authorizing and approving the execution of a contract lease and option with the Johnson County School District Finance Corporation and any further necessary instruments. So we would need a motion and a second to approve the resolution as read.
Motion. Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this point in time, we'll get a motion to recess into the Johnson County School District Finance Corporation meeting.
So made.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're in the Johnson County School District Finance Corporation meeting. Call it to order, and we need to confirm the officers, but we are shy a vice president. Is there a motion to, anybody want to nominate anybody for vice?
I'll nominate Bruce Aaron.
Is there
I'll second
a second it? All in favor say aye. Aye. There you go, Bruce.
Pretty important position now.
Thank you, Bruce.
Now we'll go ahead and adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance of energy conservation revenue bonds.
And again, I'll read it into the record. It's a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Johnson County School District Finance Corporation relating to and providing for the issuance of $5,500,000 principal amount, which may be increased or decreased by the amount of $550,000 of Energy Conservation Revenue Bonds, Series 2017, in accordance with Sections 162.120 through 162.300 and 162.385 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, to provide funds for school building purposes, providing and determining the duty of said corporation in connection with the operation of the school property, the creation of funds sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said revenue bonds as and when they mature, the creation of adequate maintenance and insurance funds, and authorizing the execution of a lease and other instruments with respect to such Pool 1 property with the Board of Education of the Johnson County School District.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So made.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? If there be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this point in time, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn out into the regular meeting.
So made.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we are in our regular Johnson County Board of Education meeting. Next item is item C. Mr. Burkett.
We're asking for the board to approve a full-time emergency certification for Macy Saggers, Family Consumer Science teaching position. We had that job posted since last January and had no certified applicants across from the statewide pool. There's only 2 institutions that produces that educators, and they're not producing enough people to fill the positions. Macy will likely be fully provisionally certified anyway. Within the next month, she's got to take an assessment, but we do need an emergency certification to go ahead and use her.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item D, Mr. Cochran.
By August 31st, we have to notify the Board of Education that we reviewed data security practices, guidance, and implementation, as well as we have an MOA with any future software vendors, and we do this to help keep our data safe and secure, all our students and all our staff.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Do we need a motion on that?
Validation.
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Item E, Mr. Young and Mr. Crum.
Mr. Young's not able to be here, but he is requesting that Farm and Field Day use at WRPAS.
September 9th.
And ours is just the annual Wells family reunion that they have every year.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second motion.
Any discussion? If there be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Approved student trips. Mr. Eastep and Mr. Crum.
Middle school requests permission for our football team to travel to Buffalo Middle School, which is in Canova, West Virginia, on September 28th, and then October 20th to the 22nd for an overnight trip. Our girls basketball wish to participate in the KBA state tournament in Lexington.
Thank you. Mr. Crum.
All right, there's a long list, and we went ahead and gave you several of them that go later on into the year, but you got boys basketball December 7th and 8th to Jackson County, 20th to 23rd is the Smoky Mountain tournament in Gatlinburg. The girls are also going to be in that same tournament. Russell County tournament December 27th to 31st. Softball, right now you have a Franklin County trip on the 20th, it's overnight, and on May 4th is Tates Creek, and May 31st, Wayne, West Virginia. Baseball is April 2nd to the 6th to Memphis and Nashville, and April 13th to Northern Kentucky, and May 11th would be to Lexington. Football, there's a JV, 9th grade and a freshman JV to Mingo Central, and on the 14th of September in Wheelersburg, Ohio on the 25th. We have a varsity football game at South Charleston on September 8th, and the band has September 16th, 23rd. Did she text over?
She did, but it was too late for the 30th. We're going to get that on the next meeting.
Oh, that's, okay, we got time on that,
Yeah, we
okay,
have
so,
time.
that's fine, I didn't realize when the date was. So the 16th and the 23rd is Spring Valley and the Cowell Mitten.
Mr. Crum, how many of these are booster funded? How many you pay for?
Any of the ones that are like their spring break, those long ones, they cover all the expenses on those. The other ones that are part, and like the basketball tournaments, those holiday tournaments, those are, but now the other ones like the South Charles football, those are regular season contests, because we can't get anybody in state to hardly play us on some of these. Those are just regular season games. And of course, some of them are just across the border, I mean, into, you know, that really not even, any longer than going to Lexington, but just because they're into Charleston, but.
Is there a motion to approve student trips?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion on the student trips? If there be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item G,
We're
Mr.
asking,
Burgett.
we're asking the board to approve the 2017-18 Unite MOU, to replace 5 Unite workers at our elementary schools for a cost to the board of $27,500 to $5,500 per person. Those employees work year-round through the Unite Service Learner Program and work with our students in drug education and mathematics intervention strategies.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Burchett.
We also have a need for a additional bus monitor. It's need-based, based upon services to, provide services to students with special needs.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Burchett.
Several years ago, the board allowed the district to have a speech, forensic speech position. Program started out actually out at Howell Elementary, extended on to the middle school. Mr. Horn, I think, presented to you guys last year or the year before about that, and what that program was doing, the growth and the students were doing. Most of those kids have now, students have now moved on to the high school, and we want to continue that program, so we're asking you to approve a speech coach position, $1,000 stipend, and that's in line with what we're doing at the middle school.
Thank you. Is there a motion to create this position?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we
All in
have-
favor say aye. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, did I just, do we have a co-chair?
That's, I believe.
Yeah, well, Mr., yeah, understand, his child has gone on to the high school now, so he's the one that met, and he's gonna try to help coordinate, so it'll be the exact same quality that I think we've had so far,
That'd be good.
sure.
No further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item J, Mr. Burchett.
We also have the need to redo our local educator appeals panel. That's called the LEAP committee. And the board gets one nomination from that. We've had somebody, actually, Mr. Cochran's been in touch with somebody who volunteered to do that. This is Michelle McClure from Howell Elementary. And we recommend that the board select Michelle and approve her as your designee for that committee.
Thank you. Motion?
Motion to do so.
Second? Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? There be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item K, Ms. Rice.
She is not here, but you should have in your information a chairperson list by job title. It's for 504 and admission and release committee meetings, and these people are responsible to chair those meetings. We just need your approval.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? There be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item L, Ms. Pat.
Yes, our Family Resource Center directors are requesting the opportunity to submit grant applications for ASAP grants, and it's a drug prevention type of activities, and it's they're $500 each. So we'd like for you to approve that for us.
Thank you. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
made.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Item M, Mr. Crum.
We got word, I think you all might remember, I don't know, about 2 years ago, we had tried to submit an application to get reinstate the JAG program, and it was through an ARC grant, and it didn't come through for us. But it appears right now that there was some additional state funding, and Governor Bevin has been a real big proponent of more of these work programs to try to get students with skills to be ready to go out into the workforce. And the JAG program we used to have was a great program for a long time until the state funding dried up. And we got word last week that there may be $40,000 non-matching, the board will not have to put any money in, grant to maybe allow us to do that for this year, with hopeful ARC funding coming in to even more than that later on in the year. They're more hopeful this year. So all we have to do is just get approval that the board will allow us to accept that $40,000 if that comes through for us, to see if we can, begin to reinstate that really good program.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? There'll be none. We'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item N, Mr. Cochran.
We've been in discussions with Hobby Hall Medical Center to provide, they want to provide a nurse practitioner in our school system. And that will be at no cost to the district. They will be able to provide services to students and staff, and also telemedicines that they can reach out to all of our elementary schools in the district.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Is there any cost to this?
No.
No cost. Any other comments?
Yeah, we would just have to see what fair market value is, and then have to approve KDD. Yes.
No further discussion. We'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item O, Mr. Burchett.
As part of the superintendent's plan to consolidate their technical services here in the district, while also expanding our student help desk program at the high school and offering student technical internships, we're asking that the district create a data communication specialist position. It will be at no overall cost to the board, as we will be transferring someone in-house into that position, and then next board meeting, be able to come back and say, do away with a different position. So no additional cost to the board, we're just simply moving the puzzle pieces around.
Thank you. Is there a motion to create this position?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item P, Ms. Patton.
Yes, in order for our finance department to request federal and state funds, we need for you to approve the district assurances that we will spend the money and the right way and with the activities that fall within each one of the program guidelines.
Thank you. So motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second? Motion's made and second. Any discussion? There being none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. You also have the superintendent's personnel report, and at this point in time, get a motion to recess into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810B to discuss future acquisition or sale of property. Is there a motion to do so?
So made.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Expect no action on this executive session meeting.